The murmurs at work had become too loud to ignore. Whispered concerns reached my ears as I buried myself in spreadsheets and reports. "Is everything all right, Marcus?" Sarah, from accounting, asked with a cautious frown. "We've heard some rumors." Her voice trailed off, leaving a heavy silence. I forced a smile. "I'm fine, Sarah. Just the usual work stress, you know?" But the seeds of doubt were sown. I couldn't shake the echoes of their whispers. Rumors swirled around a cafe, a regular rendezvous spot, and a mysterious man. Initially, disbelief shielded me from the sting, but curiosity, a relentless force, pushed me to confront the reality. One autumn afternoon, armed with nothing but a gnawing suspicion, I found myself outside Café Verona, the place rumored to be the stage of my personal drama. The golden leaves rustled underfoot as I paused by the window. There, in the cozy corner, sat my wife, Anna, her laughter reaching me through the pane. Beside her, sharing the intimate space, was none other than my younger brother, Eric. A flood of childhood memories rushed back, the stolen toys, the overshadowed birthdays, and always, Eric winning our parents' affections with his charming smile. It seemed he hadn't outgrown his habit of taking what was mine. Pushing the door open, I stepped into the cafe, my heart pounding in my chest. Their conversation halted abruptly as they noticed me. Anna's face drained of color, while Eric's eyes darted away, guilt written all over his features. "Marcus! What are you doing here?" Anna stammered, her voice a mix of surprise and fear. Ignoring her, I turned to Eric. "How long?" I demanded, my voice low and controlled. Eric looked away, his silence more telling than any confession. "I can't believe this." "Not again, Eric." My voice rose, attracting curious glances from other patrons. Anna reached out, her hand trembling. "Marcus, let me explain." "There's nothing to explain." I cut her off sharply, my gaze fixed on Eric. "You've always done this, always sneaking into my life, taking what's mine. But not anymore." Turning on my heel, I left the cafe, the sound of Anna calling after me fading into the background. I didn't look back. Not this time. The crisp air bit at my cheeks as I walked, my mind racing with plans of retribution. This betrayal was the final straw. I spent the night alone in our now too quiet house, plotting. By morning, the decision was clear and cold in my mind. She had to leave. I couldn't live in the shadow of betrayal, not from my wife, not from my brother. When Anna returned, her eyes swollen from crying, I was ready. The divorce papers were laid out on the kitchen table like a testament to the end of our shared life. Her plea for forgiveness fell on deaf ears. "You need to leave, Anna," I said, my voice devoid of the warmth it once held for her. "I can't look at you the same way. Not after this. Not ever again." With every item she packed, a piece of my broken heart hardened. By the time she closed the door behind her, my resolve was ironclad. Eric and Anna, once central to my life, were now nothing more than painful memories. I vowed never to let them, or anyone, close enough to hurt me again. The chapter of my life with Anna was closed, brutally but necessarily. As I stood in the empty silence of my living room, the reality of my solitude set in. But this was only the beginning. The main plot of my new life, free from their shadows, was just starting to unfold. The weeks following Anna's departure were cloaked in a grim satisfaction. My once shared office at home now bore only my presence, stark and solitary against the memories of laughter and whispered dreams. However, my victory felt hollow, the silence a stark reminder of the price of betrayal. One chilly evening, my phone buzzed relentlessly on the desk, disrupting the monotony of my solitude. The screen lit up with Eric's name. Ignoring it initially only led to a persistent ringing that grated on my nerves until I finally answered. "Marcus, we need to talk," Eric's voice came through, tense and shaky. "No, we really don't," I replied coldly, my grip tightening around the phone. "Please, just listen. I know I've messed up, but it's not what you think," he pleaded, desperation seeping through his words. Curiosity, tinged with an undeniable urge to confront him, propelled me to agree. Fine. Meet me at the park in 30 minutes. The park was desolate, the fading light casting long shadows on the ground. Eric was already there, pacing back and forth near the old fountain. His posture was defeated, a stark contrast to the confident brother I grew up resenting. "You have 5 minutes," I said as I approached, my voice firm. "Marcus, I swear, it wasn't planned." "It just happened," Eric started, his voice faltering. "I've been going to that cafe to meet a client, and one day Anna showed up. We talked, and one thing led to another. And you decided to stab me in the back? Again?" I interrupted, anger flaring. "It was stupid, I know. But I didn't pursue her, it just happened." "I'm sorry, truly," he continued, his eyes pleading for understanding. "Sorry doesn't change anything." "You both betrayed me," I said flatly, turning away to hide the mix of rage and pain that threatened to surface. "I know, and I'll regret it for the rest of my life. But there's more. Anna's pregnant, Marcus. It's mine." The words hit me like a physical blow, stopping me mid-step. Turning slowly, I faced him again, my mind reeling from the revelation. "What did you just say?" I demanded, my voice barely a whisper. "She's pregnant. We found out a few days after you saw us. That's why she's been so distraught. Marcus, I don't expect you to forgive me or her, but I need to be responsible for my child." The park around us spun slightly as I processed his words. My brother, the perennial thief of my happiness, had now crossed a line from which there was no return. "You need to leave," I said quietly, the finality in my voice more for myself than for him. "Marcus, please. Leave, Eric. And tell Anna she will hear from my lawyer." With that, I turned and walked away, each step punctuated by the crushing weight of betrayal. As the night grew darker, the contours of my planned retribution took shape with a newfound clarity. Anna and Eric had not only deceived me but had rewritten my future without my consent. My response, I decided, would be calculated and cold. No longer would I be the passive victim of their selfish whims. Back home, I drafted an email to my lawyer, outlining the need for aggressive legal actions. My next steps were clear: secure my assets, protect my interests, and ensure that the consequences of their actions were as devastating as the betrayal itself. As I sent the email, the screen's glow in the dimly lit room seemed to signify the beginning of a new chapter, one where I controlled the narrative. My revenge had just begun, and while the path was fraught with pain and anger, it was one I was ready to walk down. After all, some betrayals could never be undone, and retribution was a journey best traveled with open eyes. As dawn broke over the city, the early light found me awake, seated at my desk surrounded by legal papers and old photographs of happier times. The day's agenda was clear: meet with my lawyer, set the legal wheels in motion, and further isolate Anna and Eric from what they had once called home. I arrived at the law office punctually, my resolve like armor. The sharp clack of my shoes on the polished floor echoed like a metronome, counting down the moments to retribution. Ms. Harding, my attorney, greeted me with a nod, her face a mask of professional detachment. "Marcus, let's get straight to it. I've drafted the initial set of demands based on your outline. We're pushing for an aggressive settlement," she began, spreading out the documents before us. "Good. I want to ensure that their betrayal costs them dearly," I responded, my voice steady, scanning the documents quickly. "We're also filing for a restraining order against Eric. Given the familial ties and the potential for unwanted encounters, it's a precautionary but necessary step," she explained, her pen poised over the paperwork. "Do it." "I don't want him anywhere near me," I affirmed, feeling a cold satisfaction at the thought of legally barring Eric from my life. As we discussed the financial aspects, my phone vibrated incessantly. Ignoring it initially, I finally glanced to see multiple missed calls from Anna. Each call a reminder of her desperation. "Excuse me for a moment," I said, stepping outside to return the call, my heart pounding with a mix of dread and anger. "Marcus, please, we need to talk." This isn't just about us anymore. There's a child involved. Anna's voice was frantic, edged with tears. That changes nothing. You made your choice, Anna. Live with it, I replied icily. But I'm carrying your nephew. Doesn't that mean anything to you? Her plea knotted my stomach, but my resolve held firm. You should have thought about family before you betrayed me. Expect to hear from my lawyer, I snapped, ending the call with a definitive click. Returning inside, I informed Ms. Harding of the call. She's desperate. Expect her to reach out to you, but I want this handled swiftly and without any concessions. Understood. I'll prepare for all possible scenarios. This won't be pleasant, Marcus, but will ensure the outcome is in your favor, Ms. Harding assured me, her demeanor unflinchingly resolute. As I left the office, the city seemed different, harder, colder. I spent the afternoon walking, the noise of the bustling streets a soundtrack to the turbulent thoughts racing through my mind. In the midst of a crowded square, my path unexpectedly crossed with Michael, a mutual friend who had known Anna and me as a couple. Marcus! I just heard. I'm so sorry, man, Michael approached, concern etched across his face. Thanks, Michael. It's a mess, but it'll be sorted soon enough, I said, forcing a nonchalant shrug. If you need anything, or just want to talk, I'm here, okay? Michael offered, clapping a hand on my shoulder. I appreciate it. Really, I replied, the gesture a small anchor in the chaos. Late that evening, I returned home, the day's confrontations leaving me drained yet more determined. Tomorrow, I would continue building my case against Anna and Eric. Tonight, though, I allowed myself a moment of weakness, missing the life I thought I had known. But as sleep claimed me, my thoughts weren't of forgiveness or regret, but of the next steps in a battle I had never wished to fight. The game of chess continued, and I was readying my next move. The final act of my plan unfolded under a sky heavy with storm clouds, mirroring the tumult within me. The once familiar comfort of my home had transformed into the command center for my retribution, papers and photographs littering the table like relics of a war I never wished to wage. The day had come to confront Anna and Eric together, to end this chapter forever. I had arranged to meet them at the old warehouse on Baker Street, a place devoid of memories and far removed from prying eyes. The lawyer had advised against it, calling it unnecessary drama, but I needed this closure, to see the treachery in their eyes one last time. I arrived early, the vast empty space echoing the hollowness inside me. Soon, the sound of hesitant steps approached, Anna and Eric, hand in hand, a united front against the storm I was about to unleash. Marcus, thank you for agreeing to meet, Anna started, her voice trembling. Save it, Anna. This isn't a courtesy call, I cut her off sharply, my eyes fixed on Eric, who seemed smaller somehow, diminished. I know we can't undo what's been done, but we want to make things right, somehow, Eric added, his voice unsteady. Make things right? You think you can mend this? I scoffed, the bitterness seeping through. No, this ends today, but first, I want the truth, the whole truth. No more lies. Anna looked at Eric, a silent exchange passing between them before she turned back to me. It's true. I am pregnant. But Marcus, there's something else. The baby, it isn't Eric's. Confusion washed over me, mixing with the rage. What are you saying? It's yours, Marcus. That night at the cafe wasn't the beginning, it was the end. I was trying to end it with Eric, to fix our mistake. We never, after you saw us, Anna confessed, her eyes pleading for me to understand. Her eyes pleading for me to the force of a physical blow. My mind reeled, trying to piece together the fragments of truth hidden beneath layers of deception. You're lying, I accused, though a seed of doubt took root in my heart. It's the truth, Marcus. I swear on my life. We were going to tell you about the baby, after deciding what to do about everything, Eric interjected, his earnestness unsettling. The weight of their words bore down on me, cracking the veneer of my resolve. Had my quest for vengeance been based on a misunderstood encounter? The possibility tormented me, gnawing at the edges of my anger. No. It changes nothing. You betrayed me, both of you. You stole my peace, my trust. And now, you will lose everything too, I declared, my voice cold and detached. Before they could respond, I turned away, pulling out my phone to execute the last part of my plan. A press of a button, and the sound of sirens filled the air, growing louder. What have you done, Marcus? Anna's voice cracked with fear. I called the police. Reported a theft. All the evidence points to you, Eric. Fraud, embezzlement from our company. Enjoy prison, I said, the words tasting like ash in my mouth. As the police cars screeched to a halt outside, officers stormed in, handcuffing a stunned Eric before he could protest. Anna's cries echoed in a hollow space, a lament for what could have been. I watched, numb and detached, as they took Eric away. Anna's sobbing broke through my reverie, a stark reminder of the cost of my vengeance. You destroyed everything, Marcus. Our baby will grow up without a father because of your hate, she wept, her despair a mirror to my own inner turmoil. Leaving her there, amidst the chaos, I walked away, the final threads of our connection severed by the scissors of betrayal and retribution. The storm broke above me, rain washing over the city, but it could not cleanse the bitterness that clung to my soul. I had won, yet the victory was hollow, the spoils tainted. In my ruthless quest for revenge, I had lost more than I had ever owned. The hatred of betrayal had indeed parted us forever, leaving behind only the wreckage of lives once intertwined. The deception had been mine, fueled by assumptions and anger, and now I would live with its tragic consequences.